saw something on the course they'll never forget.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's, well, no one knows. Unidentified flying objects.
Just what, if anything, is living in Scotland's famed Loch Ness?
This week, the FBI
Kid you not.
Territory, the show of the weird and wonderful, strange and freaky, not just Sasquatch, but today we are talking about Sasquatch. Sadly, Trapper, we all know him from Mountain Monsters, has passed away this past Monday. It's a shame,
Yeah.
but the topic is Bigfoot TV shows in America. And I had this whole thing lined up too, which now I feel bad about doing it. Fake or not,
Yeah.
Bigfoot shows in general. Do you get many in Canada?
We used to. If we get any, it's once in a while on the Discovery Channel. But ever since basically Finding Nothing was on TV, there hasn't really been much of anything. Most of the stuff I find is on YouTube.
Well, in America here, it's all over the place. You have Finding Bigfoot, or as you call it, Finding Nothing. You have Mountain Monsters, all sorts of these shows following the same format, the same formula. Let's get a core group. You got your dedicated howler, like Bobo. You have to have the girl. You have to have the girl.
Yeah.
You get another guy, expert investigator. You get it's always the same thing. Everybody has their own specialty. It's like ghost hunting shows. Professional technician, expert ghost hunter, historian. It's all the same. Always all the same. But the Sasquatch shows. Now, Sasquatch is a beast of the woods, right?
Top predator, yeah.
Hasn't been found. Hasn't been seen. And captured unless it's on a potato. Besides, obviously, the Patterson-Gimlin footage, the Freeman footage, which I still think those two are the top. Of course, there's the Memorial Day footage, but I believe that was already proven to be a hoax.
Yeah, the one with the baby?
No, the one with in the valley. You see it running, and on Legend Meets Science, which was one of the only interesting Bigfoot shows I've seen in quite some time, and that came out years ago. The guy was running. They had an actual athlete, a track runner, long distance or something, run through the same way.
The one you're talking about.
And then they had him put a backpack on him or something and run with the backpack.
Yes. And they timed them and they tried to match it up to see if it could have been done or not. Yeah, I remember that.
But I believe that footage was ousted as a hoax.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And
for the life of me, I'll never understand why people waste so much time on hoaxing. There's nothing you gain, nothing to gain out of it.
Attention and possibly money. Attention and possibly money. And of course, there was that kid that dressed up as Bigfoot in a ghillie suit, ran across the world, got hit by a car and killed.
Yeah.
Is hoaxing Bigfoot? Yeah. But is hoaxing Bigfoot worth your life?
No way.
Yeah.
I don't believe so. Like, even if there's money involved in it, at the end of the day, why would you want to be exposed as just another liar? That, like, to me, that just doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense to me either, but lying comes with money too.
Yeah, there's just not enough people out there, unfortunately, that are willing to try and prove it rather than disprove it.
Very true. But these shows on TV, though, what would you say? What would you say is the best way if you were to have a show on a primetime cable network and you go out to supposed Bigfoot areas where it's all squatchy? What would you do? What would be your technique in order to find Bigfoot, to find evidence? How would you approach it?
Well, the only way I could approach it is just by past experience, looking for signs. There's all different, you know. Once you get out there, you can kind of wrap your head around it more than trying to explain it. Kind of signs that I mean that you're looking for when you're in the forest, because certain animals will do certain things. We all know that, and it's the abnormal that you've got to find, and that's the needle in the haystack when it comes to them. Because if you don't find their prints, trying to find anything else is usually just as hard, if not harder, to find.
But how would you go about it in a TV show sense? Like, you're the new Josh Gates, Destination Truth. You're the new Josh Gates.
I'd probably try to follow Les Strauss. Individual, maybe two-man team. Go into known areas that are so-called squatchy, which I really hate that fucking word, man. I really hate that word. It's so annoying.
You can thank Finding Bigfoot for that. I don't know who originally coined it. Maybe Matt Moneymaker.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Squatch.
Makes money off of else.
Well, there's stories.
With two-man team, instead of going in there by yourself, at least two people. You know, two people who have knowledge of tracking. A wide range of animals. So, you know, there's no mistaking that, oh, look here what I found. And you know, okay, that's a bear, that's a moose, that's an elk, that's a deer, that's a mule deer, that's, you know, whatever happens to be in the area at the time.
Yeah, know your local
Yeah, like up here we have river otters, we have fishers, which it's fisher is related to a wolverine, which I've seen one of them once in Algonquin, or not Algonquin Park, in Killarney Provincial Park, which is about an hour and a half away from here. But I just seen it run across the road for 2 seconds, and I knew exactly what it was because it ran like a slinky.
Like a slinky.
Yeah, like the way they're.
We're having some audio problems.
They'll run, and their middle part will kind of bow up, come back down, go back up as the body's moving. Just by the way it lopes when it's running. At first I thought it was a bear, and then I just saw the 6-inch tail on the ass end of it, and it was like, oh no, that's a wolverine. I was totally stunned.
Yeah, I guess those things can be pretty nasty.
And I know we have cougars here because there was one killed in Thunder Bay, but that's a good distance away in northern Ontario, but still they're around.
That's my favorite big cat, by the way.
Mountain lion, they're a beautiful animal.
Well, you take what you just said, go in, small crew, knowledge your tracks and your local wildlife, respect the area. Now doesn't that sound like an interesting show? Would you watch that?
Oh yeah, I'd watch it.
But I bet you it wouldn't make any money.
No, probably wouldn't. It would be like that other two-man team show they had on Discovery Channel a couple years back.
Which one was that?
I can't remember the name of it, but one guy was more or less a modern hunter, and the other guy was kind of like a hillbilly 70s type dude. And they kind of just chose their own different ways of surviving in typical forest areas around the world. It was
Sounds like
mostly
dual.
common.
Sounds like dual survival.
That could have been the show. I
They
can't
had
remember the name.
They had Dave Canterbury, who was, I believe he was ex-Navy SEAL, and Cody Lundeen, who was kind of like the hippie guy, didn't wear shoes.
Yeah, that's the dude.
Yep, and then Canterbury got replaced with Joe Tedeye, who was Spec Ops, Special Forces.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's
I
the show you're
watched.
talking about.
Yeah, I watched a couple of those episodes. I thought it wasn't too bad. Then I lost interest.
Well, it's very samey too, but it's interesting to watch how they survived, the different techniques and stuff, even though they got a full camera crew. But you know, you look at Finding Bigfoot, you look at Expedition Bigfoot, which is our newest entry into Bigfoot TV. Yet again, same formula. 4 people, 1 woman, 3 men, go into the woods, all sorts of technology left and right, film themselves with that little over-the-shoulder camera, which is hanging out right in front of them,
Yeah.
screaming, hooping, and hollering through the woods. And they wonder, why aren't we finding any evidence? Look at them. They're running around the woods like a bunch of preteens filming a school project. And no wonder if Sasquatch is an animal, like Gigantopithecus. You know, this mic is going to give me some real problems, I can tell. If it is a real animal, that thing's going to be way the hell away from you.
Oh yeah.
It'll already know you're coming. And it's going to...
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can just imagine Sasquatch standing there going, yeah, I heard from Frank the other day that these guys were coming. You know, standing on the top of a hill looking down. What do you say we throw a couple of rocks and go about, I don't know, 5 miles that way and watch?
Yeah, watch them fool around.
Yeah, watch them screw around. Watch the guys go, oh, for 3 hours in the woods. But it's all for the sake of entertainment. And that's the thing. Like Finding Bigfoot. But more so the Destination Truth, which I do like Josh Gates, I gotta say. I've even read the book. He's a funny guy. The ones where they fake evidence is the ones I have the most problem with.
Yes.
Where it seems like every episode there's something coming at them through the woods, or they capture something on film that you can't quite see, or there's always a reason. There's always a reason. Like, my camera immediately shut down. Something must be around here. I charged the batteries. And
I've never experienced that.
Of course you get the shows too, where they'll be sitting there, they'll be quiet, right? Everything's dead quiet. And they're like, did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. And so you're straining to listen to the TV.
Yeah.
And all you hear is the effing background music. That stupid spooky background music that they put in. Where the people are actually standing there in dead silence. Like, did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. Well, I'm glad you did.
Because I didn't hear shit.
I can't hear shit but that goofy ass spooky music you put in.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a bad Halloween attraction. It just frustrates me. Why can't they get a group of people that aren't experts in anything? Like, just pick them off the street. Be like, are you interested in Sasquatch? Yes. Okay. Would you want to be on TV for a show? Yeah. Okay, well, here's the parameters. There's no faking evidence. There's none of that. It's just you with a couple other strangers in the woods with basic equipment. Here's a flashlight. Here's a camera. We got a crew just in case you get in trouble, but they'll be way back there. Go see what you can find. I bet you that would be much more interesting, seeing a bunch of strangers who are interested in the subject just go into the woods of a hotspot and just film. Just document what they do and get paid for it. Not these people who are professionals just mugging for the camera just to make a buck.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather watch a group of strangers, like, I don't know, maybe around college age, where they can pay their tuition.
It
Just go into
almost
the
seems
woods.
It almost seems like a scare tactic type show, though.
No,
You know
but
what I
with
mean?
yeah, I do, but with the intent of just being a raw documentary type of thing.
Yeah.
You don't know whether you're gonna get anything or not, but I still say that would be more interesting to watch than all this fake crap that's out there that treats the Sasquatch legend and itself like a bunch of garbage. It just literally walks all over Sasquatch in that case. Those legends came way before we had cameras. And here we are traipsing through the woods, hooting and hollering, trying to find something that's obviously probably very rare, knows the woods better than you, and we call that entertainment. I find it stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're just walking around the forest, hearing all the wildlife, not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, you hear a noise, and it's like, oh, what was that? Meanwhile, it was some woodpecker. Oh, it was a woodknock. No, it was a woodpecker. You.
If you guys could have seen that, he was strangling the screen.
You know, like, oh God.
Here's a question
Yeah,
for you.
I don't know what to say about some of those shows. Like, even with Finding Bigfoot and all of them, when they do their hoops and hollers and all that, it's like, myself personally, I've never used it in the forest because I look at it as like, if these things do have intelligence like us, what are you saying other than just screaming? What are,
And
you know, you're not
that's a
saying
good.
it. A wood knock, you know, supposedly wood knocks, because I'm not totally convinced of that myself. What are you saying? What are you
That's a
trying to convey?
that's a good point. It would be like going to a different country where the natives of that country all speak their own language, and you just try to mimic them. You try to say whatever words that you're hearing from them, but you don't know what you're saying. For all you know, some words that you picked up you could be insulting them.
Mm-hmm. Inadvertently, yeah.
You could be in France for the very first time, and you hear somebody say "merde," and you don't know that means shit.
Mm-hmm.
So in that
Yeah.
sense, you're out there.
I've heard that. I've heard that word before, but I've heard mete mean shithead.
Eh.
French. You gotta love them.
Apologize for the feedback on my end, guys. I'm trying to resolve it. In the last podcast, you'd spoken First Nations, right?
Yes.
But only
Yeah.
the just like us. Oh my god, I can't put two and two together today. My wording is terrible.
At the time that I did it, it was more of a further experimentation to what happened to me when I was there by myself a few times. Like the day that I got growled at with the mumbling growls. When I ran down the trail about 20 feet, I stopped, I turned around, and I looked back. There was nothing there. I said hello in First Nations, using a First Nations language. And everything
that's when
just
they
went,
stop.
yeah, everything stopped and went quiet, and it spooked me out. So I just got on my truck and left. So after that, when we had that encounter, when I brought 3 other people to my spot, and they were throwing shit at us and all that, that's when I decided to speak First Nations again. And I just said, "What are you doing?" And when I did that, they stopped throwing everything at us. Everything just went back to normal, went quiet. And that's when I was just like, wow, do they actually understand what the hell I just said? Because I didn't tell them to stop or anything. I just asked what they were doing. Like, why were you throwing stuff at us? We mean you no harm. And maybe it confused them, is what I think happened.
That would confuse me too. I spoke my own native tongue. Okay, I keep getting. I don't know why I'm getting. There, I think I. Every time I think I fix it. If I had my own native tongue, I know you're not. I am.
Yeah.
If I had my own native tongue, all I'm getting is feedback from this. This way. I think this works. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
If I have my own native language and I'm in the middle of the woods, and somebody else starts talking to me, I'd probably be like, how do you know that?
Yeah. That's what I honestly think what happened that night. It just confused them. Just totally confused them. And probably made them realize that it was the same person that they ran into a couple of months ago, being me.
And that also makes me think, I wonder if they have different dialects for themselves, the same way First Nations have different languages. I mean, say you speak Cherokee to a Sasquatch that's native to the areas around the Sioux.
Yeah.
Do they understand it or not?
Yeah, I don't know. That's part of my further ongoing experiments with being out in the forest and getting close to them. Is trying these things and finding out the result. Which I'd really like to get back there with a thermal camera. That would be really cool.
Well, when I get up there and we do our thing, I'll be bringing the FLIR.
Yeah,
Hopefully you'll
that
have
should
one too.
Yeah, I hope so by that time. I'll definitely look into it in the new year.